destruction, is what he tweeted. He also said that the drone images produced audible gasps at one emergency operations center. Understandable. It is a world transformed by Michael. A little bit up to speed, too. We've got people all over America that are worried about their loved ones that might be here. They may have not heard anything. They may have had some people here in some of the hospitals. Some information. Bay Medical Sacred Heart Hospital transferred about 200 patients to Mobile, Alabama, also over to Pensacola, Florida, and into Jacksonville, getting them into places where they can get the assistance they desperately need. Also, communication issues. We've been talking about how difficult it is for people to get in touch with their loved ones. There is a new website that's been put up by Florida National Guard. The website name, it's fdoh.readyop.com. I'll repeat that in just a moment. And if you log on to that, you can actually put in your names of concern, the address of family members you might be missing, the number of family members. You can enter your own email and phone number. It's kind of like a message board. So we can share information. People can find out what's been going on. Again, fdoh.readyop.com. Hopefully that'll help you out. Hopefully this shot that we've got over behind us will also give you an idea of what we've got. Jacques, let's spin it over in this direction. Notice off in the distance, the road turns into nothing. Just foliage everywhere. You're going to find that. It's hard to find a street that has not been affected like that in the area. These cars trying to come on through. Truly is a day of assessment. We've also been talking to people in this neighborhood, and they've been asking if we want to try to communicate, and we're trying to find some electricity, we're trying to get a bite to eat, where can we go? Well, the answer to that is, which is really ironic, although we've got the wreckage in this part of the world, you get out on this main road on 98 and you go westbound, guess what? Within 15 to 20 minutes, it's an entirely different world altogether. You've got services, you've got restaurants that are open, you have got gasoline, and all of a sudden you're able to make those phone calls that are so important. But the way it happens to be right now in Panama City and Panama City Beach and the other communities like Mexico Beach that we mentioned, it has been something that has just knocked us back into the Stone Age in terms of technology. It's just very, very difficult to try to get that communication, but just also to make sense of it all. We've seen people traveling out and about, mostly on foot, which is understandable, and the expression on so many of them is the same. They gasp. The eyes are wide, just trying to make sense of all that has happened here. People have been advised, if they can, to stay off the roadways. The reason why is the less cars you have on the roadways, the more room for the first responders and more room for other trucks getting out there trying to clear these roadways. So if you're out there in curiosity, completely understandable. The best course of action is just to stay at home, take it easy. But home, obviously, Dr. Postel, not quite like it was just a day or so ago. Let's send it back to Dr. Greg Postel. Dr. Postel, super fast. A cooler morning here, no doubt, hence wearing the jacket. And a lot of folks very happy about that because they don't have electricity, they don't have the air conditioning. How long is the cold snap going to last? Just a couple of days?
Probably longer than that. I mean, this might be a real sort of foray into fall, right? It's mid-October. So, yes, the weather will come back a little bit. I think we'll get, we get a south wind along the Gulf Coast. It doesn't take long for the humidity to come back up. But overall, the summer pattern that we've seen that was anchored over the southeastern U.S. appears to be gone. And that's a good thing because that will shut down, I think, or do its part to shut down hurricane season. We can hope it's the end. Of course, we have still some time to look for it, but I think it's going to be over pretty soon, Reynolds. Let me go back now to look at what's left of Michael. It is moving away very quickly now in the jet stream. It's caught up now, moving toward the east at lightning speed almost, 29 miles per hour. A final advisory now, post-tropical system Michael. It is becoming a North Atlantic gale and carrying its rain with it. In eastern New England and eastern Long Island, we have still some gusty northwest winds and some rain showers moving through. But in a matter of hours, those too will be gone. And the timing of it is very clear that by 1 or 2 o'clock, we are going to be almost clear. At least some of the high clouds will be moving away. I don't know. There may be some scattered lower clouds. You may not see the sun in full this afternoon, but the radar charts are going to look really great with much drier conditions moving in beyond post-tropical cyclone Michael, as it's now getting shredded by the upper level winds and the jet stream, carrying it from eastern North America, believe it or not, to Europe in a matter of a couple of days. Check this out. This is from the European model where we have Michael now. Watch it go very rapidly toward the east over the North Atlantic as a gale with storm force winds, probably 60 to 80 miles per hour, maybe more than that in some spots, and then continuing on its way toward Europe. How about that? Portugal and Spain by early next week. That's a rapid transit across the North Atlantic for these kinds of systems. Sometimes, as we've seen with Leslie, they hang around for weeks almost, and this is not one of those cases. But let me go back to this, because we're going to keep talking about what we saw with Michael as it made landfall in an unprecedented way. It was rapidly intensifying all the way to landfall and carried its destructive winds across the Florida Panhandle into southwestern Georgia late on Wednesday night and early on Thursday morning. This is a remarkable evolution of a tropical cyclone making landfall. We've seen this happen before with systems like Andrew, for example, which intensified right up to the South Florida Peninsula and maybe even got a little stronger as it moved over the Everglades. But this in the northern Gulf Coast, never seen anything like it, especially at pressures this low, obviously. Just 24 hours, one day before Michael made landfall, it was a 965 hurricane. Then right at landfall, 919, and just in the last 3 hours, we lost 10 millibars on the pressure. Never seen anything like it. And coming up in the next few minutes, Dr. Erica Navarro and I will talk about why perhaps we saw this kind of intensification right up to landfall, some of the factors that may have led to that. I'm going to send it back to Reynolds right now in Panama City, Florida. Reynolds.
Okay, Dr. Postel, thanks so much. Folks, just a little bit of housekeeping we had to share with you. Jen Carfagno, great buddy, is going to be going up in a helicopter with DHS in any time at this point. She's going to get a firsthand look from high above, the devastation that we have across the region, including Mexico City. I can say this. Jen loves this area, like so many Americans do, no question about it. So it's going to be very interesting to get her perspective on this. And speaking of people who love the area, it's interesting, when we happen to be in Panama City Beach, in these areas, there is almost like a cone of silence because of all the issues that we've had with communication because of the storm that came through, obviously. But once you get out of the area, I got to tell you, we happen to be staying over in Fort Walton. When we get there, it's as though our phones just explode with information. So many questions, people asking questions. Do you know where my home happens to be, how things are shaping up? I got into a conversation with a friend of mine who lives in Colorado, but one of her childhood homes happens to be in Mexico Beach. And she was asking, if I give you an address, can you tell me if it's still standing? And I had to tell her, I have no idea. It's so slow to get the information. We're going to give you a special perspective on how things have been in Mexico Beach. Liana Brackett has the story that she's going to share with you of what's been happening from the ground up and from the skies looking down. It just is mesmerizing and just devastating. Listen.
The full extent of Michael's fury still being calculated. A Cat 4 storm at landfall. Mexico Beach took the brunt of the eastern eye wall. 150-mile-per-hour winds pushed storm surge onshore, wiping out parts of this beach town.
The entire Highway 98, I can't even see it all the way down past Parker. It's just debris all on the street.
Along the water, few homes left standing. Others pushed right off their foundations. The strongest storm on record to hit the Florida Panhandle, sweeping sand and sea from the beach into spaces where homes once stood.
That's the hardest hit. It's devastated.
Entire rooftops peeled off, one landing on a car. And boats tossed from the water. The town of 1,000 almost impassable, with months and months of rebuilding ahead.
I mean, as you can see right away, some places, some homes don't even exist anymore. I mean, it's just been scattered. Super fast. Let me show you something. If we kind of look down here for a moment, if I could just draw a picture in the sand, so to speak. Imagine this being the Gulf of Mexico, okay? And then you have Mexico Beach in this area. Well, you have just this huge channel of really where things have just been wiped out. You go to the east or you go to the west and conditions improve. But you just have that footprint put by Michael that has really changed the landscape, altered it in some respects. We spoke with a homeowner here, obviously not Mexico Beach, but where we happen to be, and he showed me some drone video that he had showing just how incredible the foliage was here, how things looked truly like a jungle canopy. It was just gorgeous, but now changed. And as he mentioned and said so wistfully, this stuff is not going to grow. It's not going to grow back. In 70 years, it would take a long time for this area to recover. So that's how it goes. We do have another problem. That is that the tropics remain very active. In fact, we've got many things that we're contending with. In fact, let's bring in Dr. Erica Navarro, if we can, talking about Sergio, another system that looms out in the Atlantic.
Sorry, Reynolds, I didn't quite catch you there. But we're going to talk a little bit about this moisture here coming into the southwest. Reynolds, we'll get back to you in just a second. Thank you so much. We do have a tropical system that is coming into the southern part of the U.S., this from the eastern Pacific, potentially bringing some very heavy rainfall here across portions of this area. If we just go ahead and take a look at the rainfall totals to come, that moisture pulled in could bring several inches of rain to portions of Texas and Oklahoma. This graphic is just loading here. Thank you so much, Jess. 2 to 3 inches potentially across portions of northeastern Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. Many of these areas have already taken on a lot of rain this year, so please be on the lookout. This is from today through the weekend. Stay tuned. Dr. Greg Postel and I will talk next.
Hey, listen to this! Is there so much noise all around that you can't hear your TV's sound? Or do you have to turn it up so loud that everyone screams? Turn it down! What you need is OwnZone headphones by Sharper Image, the perfect way to hear your TV loud and clear without disturbing anyone else. OwnZone headphone connects to virtually any make or model TV in seconds and helps you block out the surrounding sound just by putting them on. You can even control the volume directly from the headphones. Plus, with enhanced digital RF technology, it transmits wirelessly up to 100 feet, so you don't have to stay in your seat. Now, you don't have to dread watching TV in bed anymore, because you can hear loud and clear. You can enjoy your favorite TV show without disturbing your family. Watch the game with sound so clear you'd think you were in the stadium, or hear every word of your favorite movie like you were at the theater. Just plug the OwnZone transmitter into your TV, and it wirelessly transmits to your headphones, surrounding you with full stereo sound. Plus, they're super soft, cushioned, and adjustable. And because they transmit up to 100 feet, you can perfectly hear the game outside or listen to the TV hands-free as you go through your morning routine. You've seen wireless headphones selling for hundreds of dollars, and they don't even connect to your TV. But now you can get OwnZone headphones by Sharper Image today for the special TV discount price of just $59.99. And they're backed by a 100% risk-free 90-day guarantee. We'll even pay to ship it back. But to really turn up this offer, you can get a second pair. Just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship it to you free. That's right, free shipping. You get all this and incredible value. Call or log on to getownzone.com.
At Firehouse Subs, subs are hot, hearty, and extraordinary. Every sub helps provide life-saving equipment for first responders. Nice, Jaws of life, Lisa. So more people eating at Firehouse Subs means more life-saving equipment donated to first responders. If you're gonna have a sub, have one that makes a difference. How's that taste, Jim? Try the new Firehouse Pub Steak, savory steak with crispy onions and our rich beer cheese sauce. Firehouse Subs, enjoy.
Comcast Spotlight gives you access to over 50 TV and digital networks. So whatever content your audiences watch, you'll reach them. Sounds like an advertising opportunity knocking. Visit ComcastSpotlight.com today. Comcast Spotlight uses sophisticated data and analytics to reach your audience with the optimal combination of TV networks and digital destinations. Let's find your audience today. See what you can do at ComcastSpotlight.com.
X1 is here to help. You can do things like change your settings, learn tips and tricks, troubleshoot, and even manage your account. Finding your Xfinity username or Wi-Fi password, restarting your equipment, or paying your bill is easier than ever with X1. X1 Help. Another reason to love X1. Say, "Teach me more" into your voice remote to get started.
Breaking news for National Hurricane.
All the rain in the forecast created the opportunity for the perfect crime.
Storm of Suspicion. All new episodes Sunday nights at 8.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, some clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 74. Saturday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So I watch the news and I see these idiots doing this kind of stuff right here, and I thought, well, I won't be that idiot. I'll just sort of kind of look like that idiot. Instead of being the full idiot, I was the full idiot. Not being smart.
When we mentioned that there would be, again, a lot of expansive problems with Michael when it came its way on shore, this is kind of what we were talking about. You take a look at this video that we have from up towards the Carolinas and Virginia, some heavy rain that came down. You see it right here. Some of the water piling up, very difficult for drivers. Take a look at and listen at this gentleman who had made probably a pretty bad choice. Well, let's be honest, it is a terrible choice to drive through some high water. Well, I'll tell you, we are going to see some flooding across parts of the mid-Atlantic, but we do expect Michael to eventually move out into the open waters of the Atlantic and eventually ride off into history. But the problem is we're going to be seeing more problems. Let's show you some video that we have from around the area, places like Tyndall Air Force Base, home of the F-22 Raptor. I got to tell you, they were really smart getting that aircraft out of there. A lot of evacuation there, and understandably so. With Michael coming through, certainly a smart measure. Mexico Beach, we still have images that are coming in minute by minute, hour by hour, and the story is basically the same. Just disbelief in what we've been seeing there at Mexico Beach. Just awful, awful situation. That is something where it's not going to be a matter of days, may not be a matter of months, maybe years before that area is up and vibrant once again. Just a heart-rending scene, no doubt about it. People waking up this morning, still shaking their heads, trying to get a sense of the reality, the new reality that they're having to breathe in today. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching continued coverage. We're showing you Panama City. This is what we're seeing. I can tell you that as our crew came to this location, the scenes that you're seeing with this video is commonplace. Hard to find a spot around Panama City or Panama City Beach that has been unscathed by the system as it rattled its way on through as a major hurricane. All right, folks. Well, welcome back. Again, we are in a neighborhood right along Balboa Avenue. If you look right down this way, you'll see a lot of cars that are coming on through. Most of the folks actually getting out on the main road and then going west for about, I'd say, 15 to 20 miles where they're able to reconnect with some, the phones are working a bit better there. Also seeing people coming in with trucks, supplies. Every now and then you'll hear the call of birds and the sound of chainsaws as people are trying to get things going once again. Dry up restoration. Yep, a lot of those trucks are going to be put to good use today. It's all about getting back together piece by piece. And I'll tell you, you've got folks already. You'll see them out and about doing what they can, try to clean up. And I think a lot of it is not just something that they're physically doing. It's something spiritually that they're doing. It's they're just trying to get things back to order best way they can, even if it's going to take a very long time. Let's make our way back over to Erica. Erica, certainly crazy scenes that we're seeing this morning. Heart goes out to these great people, but they are resilient as can be. Amazing folks, amazing Americans, no doubt, Erica.
Absolutely, Reynolds. Thank you so much. And of course, you know, the rapid intensification of Michael played a huge role in this devastation. Now, it was a tropical depression last Sunday when it brought the rain, wind, and waves to Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula and western Cuba. It was bumped up to a tropical storm at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday afternoon. But then Michael rapidly intensified again as it moved into the Gulf of Mexico, becoming a strong Category 4 hurricane with winds of 155 miles per hour when it made landfall near Mexico Beach and Florida early Wednesday afternoon. And a number of you, viewers like Robert D., have been asking us on social media, is Michael just more evidence of climate change? I want to go ahead and bring in our hurricane specialist, Dr. Greg Postel, to talk a little bit about this question and some of the factors that may have contributed.
Yeah, the bottom line is, I mean, climate change has made systems like like Michael, more likely. That's what we can say. And let's now juxtapose what we saw with what happened in Cuba and the Yucatan with what happened in Mexico Beach, Florida, how rapidly this system intensified, and it just went nuts along the way.
And this is evidence of that. I mean, this is whiteout conditions from just wind and the rain just being spewed about here. You can barely see. If we go ahead and take a look at the actual eye wall, this is a shot from the eye. Look at that. Complete vertically stacked clouds. That's a stadium effect where you see those clouds sloping outwards. Just amazing how clear inside, and the damage that was done was extensive.
Yeah, it is pretty remarkable this is what happens, right? When you have an eye wall of a Category 4, Category 5 hurricane moving over parts of the northern Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf Coast. And we have to look at the context within which all this happened in terms of what was the climate, the local climate like in the days and months leading up to it.
Absolutely. And, you know, we had extreme heat over the eastern part of the U.S. Nearly 85 cities here reporting the warmest September on record. So things were already quite warm across this part of the country, and that translated down into the Gulf of Mexico. Look at these totals. That heat spread through October here from the 10th. 13 degrees above average here all across the southeast and the east coast. I mean, anomalous to say the least.
Big ridge of high pressure had been locked into the western Atlantic and the southeastern U.S. for weeks leading up to this. And without a cold front coming into the Gulf of Mexico, the waters kept on boiling, so to speak, in the Gulf of Mexico, way above average temperatures. These are departures from average. Everywhere it's red, it's way above average. And Michael's track went white over the warmest waters. And this would not have happened without that big high pressure system in place for so long.
Absolutely. So you have to think, you know, these things do have an impact. You can see those warm ocean temperatures all the way up supporting that intensification. And it went through quite the intensification. Look at this drop here just in the last 12 hours prior to landfall.
This thing was rapidly intensifying up to land, and the warm waters helped facilitate that. And we think the larger pattern, the atmospherics around it, helped facilitate the warm waters. And in the warming world that we're in, systems like this are more likely statistically. Yes, Michael could have happened in decades past, but the fact is, with the conditions that we have now, they are more likely to happen in the future.
It's a terrifying thought. Certainly something to look out for here. Hey, we're going to get right back out to the field here in Panama City coming up.
Ordinary eggs? Not in this house, because that's no ordinary family. That's your family, which is why you didn't grab just any cheese. You picked up new Kraft expertly paired cheddar and Swiss for eggs. Beat that. Kraft. Family greatly.
You never forget your first race. And you never back down from the next. You're the brotherhood of muscle.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Girl, Pepto Ultra Coating will treat your stomach right.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Try new Pepto with Ultra Coating.
If you've ever needed more capacity, more features, and more for your hard-earned dollar, the time has never been more right. Get guaranteed lowest prices on top brands like the Samsung laundry pair, now just $648 each. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing.
Metastatic breast cancer is relentless, but I'm relentless too.
MBC doesn't take a day off, and neither will I.
And I treat my MBC with new everyday Verzenio, the only one of its kind that can be taken every day.
In fact, Verzenio is a CDK4 and 6 inhibitor for postmenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC, approved with hormonal therapy as an everyday treatment for a relentless disease. Verzenio plus an AI is proven to help women have significantly more time without disease progression, and more than half of women saw their tumors shrink versus an AI. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, and may cause dehydration or infection. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Serious liver problems can occur. Symptoms may include tiredness, loss of appetite, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising more easily than normal. Blood clots that can lead to death have also occurred. Talk to your doctor right away if you notice pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, or rapid breathing or heart rate. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include nausea, infections, low red and white blood cells and platelets, decreased appetite, headache, abdominal pain, tiredness, vomiting, and hair thinning or loss.
I'm relentless, and my doctor and I choose to treat my MBC with Verzenio.
Be relentless. Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Do these moves look familiar? Then you might have a condition called dry mouth. Biotene is clinically proven to soothe and moisturize a dry mouth, plus it freshens breath. Biotene, immediate and long-lasting dry mouth symptom relief.
Fender biter. Seen it, covered it. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I gotta tell you, there's not a place in Panama City you can get around without finding anything left untouched.
The damage is so widespread, and the cleanup is going to take such a long time.
It's hard to even put words to what has happened there.
This is exactly why we tell you to leave.
What a story this has been. What a story it will continue to be. We're talking Michael, of course. Michael not only affecting the Gulf Coast, but all the way back up into the mid-Atlantic. The death toll now at 11. I fear that number may be on the uptick. But again, all the way from the Carolinas, more of a rain and flood threat through the mid-Atlantic and clear down right now. Well, at least in terms of what's coming for Michael for this area, it's gone. However, we've got the wreckage of what's been left behind. This morning, we've met quite a few people that have been moving out and about, trying to make sense of all of it. We met this incredible lady right here. Let's go over and just say hi to her for a moment. Ma'am, I fear you've got the advantage. Your name is?
I'm Jana Jones Hilburn.
Jana, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of moment, some time with you. Were you here when the system came on through?
We were. We stayed in the house. The house has been here since 1947. It's lucky to be here today. Our neighborhood is locked in. We chopped ourselves out this morning and yesterday just to go see if we can keep up with gas and water. We're the two neighborhood nurses. So everybody on our street is alive and breathing, and we're pooling our resources and hoping for the best. Right now, we are out in the tiniest car available to go see where FEMA will be setting up water, ice, necessities to